Aquarius. It's your girl Belladonna Krishana here with your mid-month reading. I apologize for being so late. I mean, like months late. I've been really busy with a lot of really big things happening in my life, a lot of work. And so I haven't really had the time to sit here and do these. I am hoping to be able to be more consistent with them. And so, yeah, but we're here, so let's go ahead and get this started. So, sorry, something decided to hit my eye. So we start off with, I have a new deck, by the way. Um, it's the Tarot for the time being. So it's these new little cards that I'm using right now. So we start off with, so y'all have been going through a lot, a lot of changes, a lot of coming through things and things sort of being restarted up, like revamping, things being started up again that perhaps aren't good for you, for the sake of learning the lessons that perhaps you might have avoided before, and it's brought maybe a feeling of, this is a strife card, so maybe a feeling of a little bit of confusion, a little bit of, why am I doing this? Who is this? What am I doing? How am I here? Etc. Um, you guys might have been going through a lot of changes within your career as well. If this has to do with a partner, this is somebody that you thought was going to be a good fit, someone you thought was going to be exactly what you needed, and turned out, in your mind, turned out to be somebody who kind of just did the same shit over again. And or if this is in terms of a relationship, you guys are probably sort of starting to, maybe there's quite a bit of fights that's been happening, feeling like your relationships are off balance or are inharmonious on some level. This has brought us to this point of feeling a feeling of uncertainty, being very unsure about, about where we're going in all of this. What is the point of all of this? Um, the next card that we move to actually is the Witch of Songs. Now, this card is very much speaking to, the tune is always yours. How you move through things is always yours. The stories you tell yourself is always how you're going to move through things. So if your story is that, people are shit, the situation shit, then you're going to keep finding reasons to see exactly that. If you decide to see things, in your own sort of perception as being great, or have a lot of potential, if even if not great, have a lot of potential, then you're going to start seeing more potential in how things work. And that's going to bring you to the point of the Emperor. Now, this could be someone that you find who's the Emperor, or this could be you yourself becoming the Emperor, kind of the king of, or the queen of, of your world, of your own making, of your own kingdom, if you're of your own building of things. In terms of, job security, this could be that as well. Changing your perception could lead you to the point where you are taking a bigger role and big responsibility in the work that you do. In terms of relationships, this could be that you then start to take accountability of the choices that you're making within the relationship, and also holding other people accountable for the choices that they're making within terms of a relationship as well. So, now we have two cards that come up that seem a little, especially if you guys have been going through a lot, the trauma is so real. So you guys might find that these are a little bit off-putting, but we're going to continue with the reading and just kind of, stay to the end and sort of see where things go. But we have the separation card. So there needs to be this could be physical separation, or it could be that you need to separate ideals about who this person is versus the people that you've dealt with. So it's like, this is how I kind of see it. Like in terms of relationships, a lot of times you're basing information of who people are based off of your past experiences, things that you haven't quite let go of, right? And so a lot of times when a new person comes in, they carry the weight of the 10 other people you were with. And so this needs to be, there needs to be a change in mind where you actually separate these people and what they mean and what they stand for, instead of lumping everybody in because they're not the same people. Okay. Um, the devil card comes up, and the devil card means that if you guys suffered from addiction or you dealt with people who had addictions, then you guys might be finding yourself in a place where that's kind of coming back a little bit. If you are, this is also the Capricorn card. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, this could also mean that you're dealing with somebody who holds this sort of energy, holds this sort of you need the key to your own freedom, and this person sort of holds you, not like hostage, I don't want to say, because it's like a extreme word, but sort of holds you a little bit more grounded than you yourself, as being an air sign, can actually deal with. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle the cards and pull like 3 more, and then I'm going to be right back. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I drew 3 more cards, and then we have a card at the bottom of the deck. So the 3 more cards I drew were the Victory card, Prudence, and the Hierophant. So, okay, so what this basically means. So we're talking about, sort of dealing with people with addiction. So this is going to be something that's going to be overcome. Once you realize what you're doing, again, well, I didn't mention this before. Mercury retrograde is getting ready to start. So it's either going to be like tomorrow, I think, or the 17th. And basically, this means that during this time, you guys are going to really start looking at your life, your world, and how you've structured it. And you're going to really start cutting out things that really don't serve you, because it's not going to be even a choice really for you to keep them in your life, because that's not how the universe really works. And so you might find that there's going to be a lot of people sort of like kind of up and leaving, or you're going to be up and leaving them, for the sake of pursuing something a little bit more permanent and a little bit more substantial. So you have the Victory card, followed by, now this is really interesting, because this card, Prudence, is sort of a warning, I would say, about not going from one extreme to the other. It's okay for us to do self-control, to like to exhibit self-control and self-mastery. You should absolutely do that. But don't get to the point where you then start using that as a framework to judge other people based off of things that you personally have probably done. Judgment or like Prudence, just kind of be very aware of what you're doing, and the thoughts that you're kind of putting out there, even when it comes to in regards to other people, but kind of it's kind of a bit of a balancing act right now. It's sort of a bit of a balancing act between, the extreme of being way too wild and being prude, you know, um, of being more reserved. Now, being also more reserved is not necessarily a bad thing in return, in terms of your work situation or your work life. This could indicate that you need to be a lot more by the book, a lot more by the book. In terms of relationships, maybe this means that you need to sort of scale it back a little bit if you've been a little bit too extreme. But scaling it back a little bit and also being, way too judgmental is two totally different things. Either way, the point of, if you're looking for what's the point? The point of the journey is to eventually reach this point, the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the card of, it could be the card of divine intervention. It could also be the card of doing things by more traditionally, And so if it is that you want a relationship, you don't go out there hoeing around, you just don't. But if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But that language does not speak to a monogamous long-term relationship, you know? If you want to have, if you want to advance in your career, then obviously you're going to have to work a lot harder rather than kind of slacking off because you're too tired from the things you've been going through, which is completely understandable, but like also don't do that. If this is in terms of just your own kind of personal life, this might tell you that perhaps you need to start being more in tune and in touch with your more traditional traditional side. If you meditate, then start doing that more of as a practice than just something you do on Tuesdays because it's cool and you're with your hipster friends, So it's kind of like that. Now, the bottom of the deck, and this is going to basically bring us to about mid-December, is the change card. So there are a lot of things afoot, and the choice of where it goes is dependent upon you and the sort of actions you're putting out, the words, the ideas, the intentions that you're putting out into the universe. So change could be that you move into a more serious monogamous relationship. Change could also mean that you are moving away from that and kind of into this more newfound freedom. And if that's kind of the bed that you make, then by all means, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But just make sure you know what it is that you're putting out there, so that you can get sort of the result that you're looking for instead of looking back 10 years from now or even a year from now and saying, oh my gosh, I thought I'd be a lot farther than this. Well, yeah, you would have been if you would have been just a little bit more structured as to how you were going to get there. Does that make sense? Anyway, so that is your mid-month reading. Thank you so much for being patient and also liking and sharing and subscribing and being here. And I will talk to you guys next month. Okay, bye.